so often in my one-on-one work, especially with women, one of the most potent topics, the transformative, like tipping point moments, is the moment of reclaiming the voice, of coming into the voice, like coming into this part of the body. So often there's like, ooh, there's stuff trapped there, right? There's a lump in the throat, can't fully express. Something got shut down. We were silenced at some point for some reason, and there are countless reasons, aren't there? And so once we start to move the voice, once a woman starts to find her voice, everything changes. So one of the ways I think that this can happen, and one of the most important things I find myself communicating to clients over and over again, is the importance of speaking sensation. So, you know, right when we're learning how to speak, when we're reclaiming this part of us, it's awkward, it feels really uncomfortable, maybe even terrifying to start to speak, to start to sound, to start to move energy through this space. And so one of the things we do is very simple, and it's just naming sensation in the body. So for example, you know, if we've got a knot in the belly, like a knot of emotion, maybe it's shame or guilt or frustration or rage even in the guts, like there's some kind of, or maybe it's grief that's hanging out there. Right? And so what we do, very simple, put a hand there. You could do this right now if you want. Any part of your body that there's feeling some discomfort, or you know that there's an emotion there that's like really kind of welling up and wanting to move somehow. Putting your hand there and just naming what you sense. So I sense tension in my belly. I sense heat and like friction, almost like lightning bolts, like wound up in a tight little rubber band ball. So feeling, and that was very descriptive, you don't have to go that far, but it could just be, you know, I feel tension in my heart. I feel a heaviness in my heart. So that sentence alone, that action of bringing your hands to a location in your body and speaking the sensation out loud, is deceptively powerful. Because there's two parts of the brain, one thing happening here. So physical sensation, emotion reside in typically the limbic system. So the back of the reptile brain is what we can call it. So this is that space where a lot of our limiting patterns, trauma, conditioning, all of that hangs out. And it kind of runs in the background and just sort of runs the show of our lives. Like it just kind of does whatever it wants. It's kind of making all of our decisions without us even knowing it. So when we bring our awareness to sensation, to emotion, we're bringing that part online. We're bringing awareness to it. Now, language, so speaking the sensation out loud. And the sensation is not fear, sadness, grief, those are emotions. Sensation is tingling, numbness even, heat, cold, tension, tightness, constriction, heaviness, fluttering, right? Those are all kind of physical sensations that we can feel in our body, pain, you know. So when we give those a voice, we bring the frontal lobe on board, and this is the language center. And so we're basically bringing that kind of murky, stuck in the dark, you know, I think of like the monster under the bed that we can't see. We're going under the bed, we're lifting up the bed skirt and we're shining a flashlight on it. And it's a sock, right? So when we speak that sensation out loud, we are connecting these parts of the brain. And that, most importantly, like maybe you can even feel it in your body now, brings a sense of relief because it's known. It might not change, you know? In fact, it probably won't, at least in that very moment. But there's a freedom in being known. There's a freedom in shining a light on something and having it spoken. So typically in my one-on-one sessions, we go on a journey from there, and there's other steps that we take to, get curious about these sensations and the stories that are held in the body and in the psyche and in the soul level, right? But that, we always start there. We always start at that foundational, fundamental level of connecting those two parts of the brain and of finding the voice. This is what happened. This is how it feels to be in this space. If we don't start there, the change is not sustained, right? So practice that on your own. Go slow, be gentle with yourself. If it gets overwhelming, maybe just stroke your skin and do something that feels soothing to your body. But that practice alone really starts to trigger the internal healing capacity within you. So once the thing is been made aware, and we can bring love to it, just acceptance of like, oh yeah, I feel some gnarly stuff in my belly, and speak it out loud, maybe even making it sound. There's just awareness and love that can kind of rush in to fill that space to, say, I might feel these things and it's okay. I can feel this tension and it's okay, right? So if you're wondering about next steps, please be in touch. This is the work that I love, love, love supporting people with.